I would say. And you know, we're young. We're only, you know, a little north of 5 years so far into doing this, and didn't come from any of this. I was a student of foundations and didn't have any of this in my background necessarily, nor did our owner Barry. But you know, part of what is, you know, mentoring from other folks in the industry. We have full-time maintenance staff, and we've done different things. We've looked at different software and things like that to help us. I call it workflow. Like, you know, it's really a maintenance business in and of itself, and how do we dispatch that work, you know? And we've got other part-time people with different skill sets. Go-karts, bumper cars, all those things take a different skill set to keep them operating. So how do you best go to market even with a maintenance business if that's the case, you know? And so we've tried software, we've tried delineating jobs differently, and to be honest, I can't tell you that there is one that I absolutely feel is bulletproof yet, but anything in this business, and those of you that are veterans, raise your hand if you agree with me. You can't sit still. I would say, you know, we are constantly stopping and looking at what we're doing, and is it working, and are we getting the desired result, and if we're not, let's reevaluate and try something different. Does that sound familiar? Everybody else doing the same sort of thing, right? Doesn't even have to be this business, it could be anything, but very much so in this business more than others I've been in.
So that raises a key issue, axe throwing.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
Help the group understand axe throwing.
Where's the waiver?
So, yeah, when we go by, we'll point out, we very quickly, because of the popularity of it, Joey, you might have some input on it, but, you know, because I know they do axe throwing at his facilities as well, but, you know, we used to have a paper waiver, and to be honest, that was one of those things where it sort of slowed our operations, and we've modified how we've done, you know, how we deliver that model since the time we opened, which was just in February. But we quickly went to an online waiver. We have QR codes in there, and we encourage people to scan them even on their phones where they could go through and fill them out. We just ask them to retain it, at least the screen open, so our expert can see that everybody's filled it off before we went on. But the paper ones, you know, you could hand them to 8 people, but it was just this paper thing where, so we did that. But what else do you want to know about axe throwing?
Well, what's the reaction?
Well, I think it's much like yours. Yeah, okay, tell us this one, genius. Which was the same sort of thing mine was at first. I mean, in all honesty, you know, has anybody met our owner, Barry? Have you met him at all yet, or you know who he is, at least? So he's a little crazy. I would say he's a idea guy. And when he said, hey, I want to do axes, at first I just kind of went, because he's got a lot of ideas, no question about it. And I just kind of went, yeah, okay. And then I thought, after he brought it up about the 4th time, I thought, oh crap, he's serious. He really is thinking about it. And honestly, at the time, I challenged it, going, how is that consistent with our brand, right? I mean, we have a somewhat younger demographic. We still do corporates and privates for adults and things like that, but I thought, how does that fit with our brand? And how do we deliver that? But again, you know, we've got a really good group of people and a brain trust of people that we've, you know, from industry pros to other people who sort of know that maybe what, you know, we would like to think that we sort of challenge boundaries a little bit and do things that are maybe not part of the industry yet, trying to be a little bit different. And we figured that, you know, it was worth a try, relatively, you know, easy entry for us and not super expensive to get into, and we thought, why not? And you know, as it comes to, I don't know if you have insurance people talking with you at all during your session here, but I think that's about relationships as well. So we have a really, you know, we've developed a relationship over the years, anything from, you know, if you have trampolines in your facility or something like, you know, y'all know how dangerous they can be, right? How insurance companies feel about those. Well, just think about the conversation when you go, yeah, we want to put a big bar on it and knock people off, you know? But through those and the way that we deliver those things, I think that we established a relationship where they kind of went, all right, let's see, you know, I mean, what could go wrong? Alcohol and axes, right? It can't be a whole lot worse than alcohol and go-karts.
So you launched it. How was the press process of delivering axes into the markets?
The press? been great. I want to say, I don't know if you got copied. Last week, I think we were in 4 publications just last week.
I saw them all 4.
So, we get some hype about it, of course. And I think, but it's like everything a lot of times too. I mean, we have to be very careful with that, because when you get that much recognition, everybody sort of holds their breath and waits for you to fall as well. So we just try and change fast enough that they don't see us fall.
Good strategy. For what it's worth, one project in Michigan is doing really well, and we have a new project they're putting extra on it.
Really? Yeah.
It's an older. Yeah. It's not this young, but it's old. It's more of a boutique level bar, restaurant. Bowling, all that. But yeah, the axe throwing. I'm starting to hear. Someone else wants to do it in Houston.
Yeah, I would say also we maybe don't necessarily always, I can't tell you that we know for sure who we are going to be next year or 6 months from now, but I think we have a relatively good idea who and what we're not. So, and that doesn't mean, so for example, if you were to think in a traditional sense, on what a lot of the other, national axe throwing concepts are, we're not that, and we're not trying to compete with them. And the trampolines, and I don't know if you have anybody here from, Sky Zone franchisees or any of that sort of stuff, that's not who we are, and that's okay. That doesn't mean there isn't room in the marketplace for both of us. For those of you that don't know the area, we can throw one of those rocks just that way and get a Sky Zone, So there's room in the marketplace for all of us, but we are not that axe throwing like what, the Bad Axes and guys like that, for example. But we tried to figure out how do we take that idea and put it into our venue and execute it in a way that gives people a great experience, that maybe makes them want to come back here or do more. And we do a lot of private bookings, but a big part of what we do is we do a walk-up. We call it a carnival style. And right before you guys came in, there was a group in there just doing that, where they, we sort of, because who's throwing an axe? Some of the presidents. And do you have it in your facilities? Or did you went someplace and did it? Why did you go do it, if you don't mind my asking?
Friend invited. We were invited by a friend.
Okay. Renaissance. So that's somebody from this market. So when you ask too, how do we do it? So we have a relationship with the folks that that do that at the Renaissance. So we went with we spoke with them also to find out what are the risks and where's the what do you see as potential ways people are going to get hurt and that sort of stuff. And then we just tried to figure out how do we deliver that here. And you'll see some differences when we get over there. We've got lanes that are separated, not just not a wall of targets, if you will. And I'm not criticizing those concepts. I'm just saying we did it a little bit differently, and we did it within the confines of our brand, our game attendance, our insurance company, in a way that we felt we could deliver it well. But that carnival style is a great introduction. A lot of times why people maybe don't book it is because they've never done it before. And are you going to commit an hour or 2 hours to go doing something you don't even really know if you're going to like? Well, the carnival style, our expert then sort of, they walk up, it's inexpensive, it's $4 here, we do it at $5 at our Canterbury location. But and our expert mentors or coaches them on how do they get success at it. That's really the key. And we say 8 throws, but I don't care whether or not it's 10 or 12. It's if they walk away with a success that makes them go, okay, I can do that. I can see myself booking, and you're not out $30 to go do it for 2 hours or an hour or whatever your going rate is. So I'll quit talking, but if anybody has questions, be happy to answer them.